Akshar Academy YouTube channel. In this session, I am going to discuss refraction of light, lecture 3. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe to our channel. Please share your comments in the comment section. Okay. Now let us go to the today's topic, refraction of light, lecture 3. Let us go to the first one, refraction through a rectangular glass block. Now we are going to discuss refraction through a rectangular glass block. This is here we are taking a glass slab, a thickness of T, and here medium representing glass, and it is a medium representing air. Now this is incident ray, and here the light ray is incidenting on the glass slab, and we are drawing a normal at the point of incidence. After refraction, it bends. Here the light ray traveling from rarer medium to glass medium, that is rarer to denser, air medium to glass medium. So the refractor ray move towards normal, and again here we are taking the angle of refraction R1 in between, angle between normal and incident ray, that is angle of incidence I1 and angle of incidence R1, and again we are taking this refractor ray is incident ray. Now the light ray coming from glass medium to air medium, that is denser medium to rare medium. The refractor ray moves away from the normal. This is the angle of refraction, that is here in this case it is we are calling as angle of emergence. So actually the incident ray should follow the same path. Here we are changing the separating medium. Here it is the air medium and here it is the glass medium. So this is the angle of incidence. Here it is we are calling as angle of emergence. So these two are extending of the incident ray and this refractor ray. These two are parallel to each other. This is known as, we are calling as it is lateral shift. So in between these two rays there is no angle. The angle between these two rays is equals to 0. Why? Because they are parallel lines. Now we'll discuss air to glass. Here refractive index mu is equals to sin I1 by sin R1. This is equation 1. And glass to air, refractive index is equals to sin I2 by sin R2. This is equation number 2. Multiplying 1 and 2, we get refractive index mu into 1 into 2 we are doing, equation 1 into equation 2. Sin I1 by sin R1 reciprocal, and sin I2 by sin R2. Here we are writing this as 1 by mu glass to air. See here, sin I1 by R1 into sin I2 by R2. Here we are writing this as reciprocal. And next 1 is equals to, both are cancel each other. So 1 is equals to sin I1 by sin R1 into sin I2 by sin R2. Now this from this diagram, I2 and R1 are alternating parallel side slab. So sin I1 by sin R2 is equals to 1. So that is equals to sin I1, that is equals to sin R2. So that implies I1 is equals to R2. So what we conclude from this, the ray of light will leave the slab at an angle which is entered the glass slab on the opposite side. However, it gets lateral displacement. So a ray of light incident obliquely on a parallel sided glass slab emerges out parallel to the incident ray. So from this we conclude that incident ray and emergent ray are parallel. These two are equal, parallel rays. There is no angle between these two rays. So the ray of light incident obliquely on a parallel sided glass slab emerges out parallel to the incident ray. So next, now we are concluding the lateral displacement is proportional to, first one, thickness of the glass block and angle of incidence and refractive index of glass. So this lateral displacement is directly proportional to, first one, thickness of the glass block and angle of incidence and refractive index of the glass. Okay, next we are going to discuss real and apparent depth. Now we'll see once. You must have seen bottom of a water bucket appear shallower than its actual depth. So also here we are observing a swimming pool appears shallower than its actual depth. This phenomena are due to the refraction of light. This, what is refraction? The phenomenon of changing the speed of light whenever the light ray traveling from one medium to another medium, resulting the change in direction. So due to that we are concluding that a swimming pool appears shallower than its actual depth. Now we'll see one. The topic is real and apparent depth by using one activity. This is the diagram showing the transparent medium of depth D, and we are taking a surface XY. This is the surface XY which separates two medias, air medium and glass medium, and this depth of this transparent medium is D. Consider a transparent medium of depth D and refractive index mu. Here we are taking a surface XY which separates a transparent medium with air. Here a point object O is kept at the bottom. This is a point object O. For the light ray OA that moves along the normal. See here, first the light ray is moving from O to A along the normal to this surface XY. Whenever the incident ray falls normally, then angle I is equals to angle R is equals to 0. So there is no angle of incidence and angle of refraction, and hence it goes into the air undeviated along the path AA dash. Here suppose first from this point we are sending any incident ray falls normally, then there is no deviation. However, another light ray, now we are taking another light ray OB that strikes the surface XY. This is one more light ray we are taking, the light ray coming from this transparent medium to here air medium. Suppose it is a glass medium, glass to air medium. It is filled with water. Now water to, that is denser medium to air medium. Now the light ray, this is the light ray, OB is the light ray traveling from denser to rarer. So the behavior of refractor ray move away from the normal. So this is the normal, this is normal, and this is A refracted ray, the behavior of refracted ray is whenever the light ray traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, it moves away from the normal. Now another light ray OB that strikes the surface XY obliquely at the angle of incidence. This is angle of incidence. After refraction from the surface, move along the path BB dash. This is the path BB dash. So next this is the picture. Now we are finding the real depth and apparent depth. Now we are taking example fish. This is actually fish here. The place of the fish is here, but this is the image of the fish. Actual depth, apparent depth. When produced backwards refracted ray appears coming from the point O dash. If we view the object from position B, object at O appears at O dash. It is appears, actually it is O, but it is looking like it is the object, it is at O dash, and O dash behaves the virtual image of object O. So thus depth OA is real depth and the depth AO dash is the apparent depth of the object. Now here, based on the refraction, it is looking like a image of the fish. Actually this is the place of the fish, but here we are, whenever we are observing the from rarer medium to denser medium, the image of the fish, here it is the image of the fish. So this is actually real depth and apparent depth. It is raised little bit, it is a raised position because of refraction. Next, from Snell's law, here mu is equals to sine of the angle of incidence by sine of angle of refraction, that is AB by BO dash by AB by BO. So here AB gets cancels, BO by BO dash. So here as a point B is very close to the point A, here we are taking in the place of B AO by AO dash. AO nothing but real depth and AO dash nothing but apparent depth. So since the refractive index of glass is 3 by 2, the ratio of real depth and apparent depth after refraction from glass air surface would be 3 by 2. This is a formula for real depth and apparent depth. Mu is equals to real depth by apparent depth. Mu is the refractive index of glass, that is 3 by 2. So the ratio of real depth to apparent depth after refraction from glass air surface would be 3:2. Okay. Thanks for watching this video.